Hey, what's up? It's Darian Sanayei. I'm one of the fill-in riders for the Pro Circuit team for the outdoor season coming up.
What's up? I'm Mitchell Harrison, another fill-in rider for the Pro Circuit team in the outdoor season.
Yeah, so the other day when we got the press release that you guys were on the team, I mean, there was rumors for a while. I thought it was kind of cool to kind of look back a little bit and see that both of you were on Team Green as amateurs. Both of you raced in Europe, I mean, obviously for different teams, and then kind of the same situation. You're stuck here right now, and now you're going to go race for Pro Circuit. So I'll start with Darian. I mean, when you started with amateur, were you guys actually teammates? Like on the same team?
Yeah, in amateurs, I came up through the Team Green ranks. Mitchell also did. And then I ended up taking an opportunity to go over to race for Kawasaki in Europe for a few years. I decided to move back here at the beginning of this year to race here. And yeah, it's just pretty funny that we're both, on the same team in Team Green, and we both rode in Europe.
Yeah, during my A year, we clashed a lot at Team Green, and it was a lot of fun. Always fun racing Darian. He was probably my main rival. And then as I went to the AMA circuit and he went to outdoors, so it was just really cool to grow up kind of racing with him. And then yeah, over in Europe it's just like, okay, he's the other American, so I'm kind of in my mind like, oh, I gotta beat the other American. And then so it's crazy how like we ended up here both on PC coming from that Team Green program.
So when you were racing over there, I mean, other than I guess it was you guys and maybe Covington, I mean, that's like the three Americans?
Yeah.
Did you, like at the races, did you guys like at least high five or say hey, or were you guys always separate?
Yeah, when I first moved over there, Thomas Covington was the only person. I ended up moving to Belgium a couple years into it, and me and him were pretty close. And then Marshall Welton moved over there. And then in 2019, Mitchell moved over. He was on the Bud team, so he was based in France, so we didn't really ride together in practice. But when we saw each other at the races, we would say what's up.
Yeah, I was down in southern France, so I was more in like a paradise situation where he was up in this dreadful cold
Training.
weather. Yeah, I was just like, hey, come down, you can stay with me. And yeah, at the races we hung out a little bit, but yeah, we should have probably hung out more.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, when you go to the races, you're not really there to hang out. You're there to, race.
Yeah.
But we would say what's up, like on the line and in between the motos and stuff a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody. If somebody speaks English, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be over there. So, definitely him being there has helped me out. And, he gave me some tips on the tracks and whatnot. So, it was cool having him over there.
Racing over in Europe, it's a whole different situation. What's been like the biggest difference between racing in the United States and racing in Europe for you?
I guess for me, like I race Supercross here, but I haven't raced too much professionally over here. What I kind of feel like the main difference is, I mean, they're fast everywhere. They're fast over there, they're fast here, but I feel like the guys here, the intensity at the beginning of the races is what's going to be really important. It's kind of where you set your pace. Where in Europe, I mean, it still is important, but you can kind of find your groove. And later in the motos where a lot of moves are happening, where I feel like here, the first 15 minutes is pretty crucial.
Yeah, I've always emphasized that over there, I never thought it was as rough as it is over in the United States. They always tilt deeper, and it's a lot more ruts, and there's more lines everywhere. So the pack gets separated a lot. Where over there, it's more like this choppy roughness, and everybody can just go super fast. For that racing is super intense. So like if you make a little mistake, you can just go back like 3 places. Where over here, like you can make a little mistake at the end of the motos, and you're kind of fine. Yeah, like he said, the intensity is a lot higher that first 15. Where over there, everybody's kind of like pacing each other, and then boom, at the end, you can really make a move. And then like, I think the start, I've always emphasized the start over there is super uneven. So if you don't get good qualifying or whatnot, or if your bike's just a little off, man, you can be in 20th place and you're staying there. It's hard to get back to the top 10.
Well, obviously, you guys have been like testing out there. Now that you've been here for at least a month or so, and you're working with the Pro Circuit team, like obviously a language barrier can make things easier, or I should say there it would make things harder. Do you notice a difference in like testing parts, part availability, getting like your bike feedback to your mechanics, your team? Is there differences there?
Yeah, definitely here it's just a lot easier, and especially because we're moving into one of the best teams, where they have experience, they have done it all. So, I mean, if they say something, they say that this part works, I mean, we pretty much trust them. But just being here and living here, it's super nice, and we don't want to, take it for granted. So we got the best bike underneath us.
Yeah, I would say over there the communication is hard because I over here I was like, okay, yeah, tell me what to do. I don't really know. But then I went over there and I had to figure a lot of stuff out on my own because I couldn't communicate well. So I really worked on understanding suspension on my own. So I think that helped me a lot over there. I think I matured a lot over there because of the language barrier. I don't know how it was in Belgium for him, but where I was, a lot of English companies were down there as well. So I think it was a little easier for me. And my team spoke decent English, but yeah, I think I had to figure out suspension to get it better for myself, which helped me grow as a rider.
How about, obviously the guys out here, they got all their trainers, the coaches, their nutrition guys. We know what that looks like in the US. Is it similar in Europe, or is it a whole different thing?
Yeah, everybody has their own trainers, their own programs, but I would say like in Europe, it's more like people doing it on their own a little bit. Like, even Hurlings, he doesn't have a motocross trainer, and he's one of the best in the world. But for me, I feel that it definitely helps having somebody, just kind of like keep another set of eyes on you.
I think it helped to have somebody who knew the circuits well for me, because I was coming over there blind. I thought the tracks would be more similar to here, but they weren't. Really, just how they prepare. They don't have as much equipment like you go to Russia.
Well, yeah, here they till it super deep and everything happens in a super short period of time. So it's like it starts in the morning and it's done by, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Where there, it's like you have all of Saturday and all of Sunday, and they don't prep the track in between. So it just gets a different kind of rough. It's like where it takes time and the bumps are like harder and more rigid. Where like here, everything's just super loamy and ruddy.
Yeah, I always felt that over there, you had to have a really good technique and smooth throttle, where like they can roll on the throttle there, and it's amazing. Like you watch Hurling, they're super good with their throttle control. Even like Mitch Evans in the 250 class.
They play with the track too.
Yeah, they play with the track super well. And over here, I feel like we just pin it.
Yeah, just hammer down.
All out, they sit down a lot here, which I thought helped over there, made me a better rider, learn how to stand up and whatnot.
So talking with a lot of teams that have counterparts in Europe, a lot of times they can't really share like settings because everything's so different. Did you guys find that like the teams were pushing softer settings, or did you say, no, I'm an American, I want this is how I want it, or this is what I'm comfortable with?
Yeah, I got used to running softer stuff, and even here now, I prefer a little bit softer. But I have my bike set up just a little bit stiffer on the stiffer side, so when we go to the race, it's not like a huge shock, like, oh dang, we need to make it way stiffer. But yeah, definitely over there, it's softer because they you have to play with the tracks to get speed. Here, it's like you just gotta hammer through it.
Yeah, I was really adamant about making my bike stiffer, and they're like, no, soft, soft, soft. It took me, I would say, half the year to really actually listen to them, because that's just how you have to ride over there. Like you said, you have to play with the track, and soft suspension helps that. Where over here, yeah, like we said, it's a lot deeper, so we run it on a stiffer side. And I've always been like a more stiffer suspension kind of guy, so yeah, it took me a lot to really trust their input.
Yeah. Last few questions is basically looking forward to this year. I know it obviously super weird, schedule super weird. We don't know how many spectators or what, but like, is this, like you said, you moved back here, and so are you planning to stay, like no matter what, stay, or are you looking to go back to Europe after this?
Yeah. I after last year, I couldn't. For this 2020 season, I couldn't race the 250 class in Europe anymore because of the age rule. So I made that decision where I was just going to come back here and try to make it happen. So this whole year's been kind of crazy, you know, with the corona and everything. I mean, everybody's hoping we can get back to normal, but it was cool that Supercross was able to go on, and then Motocross is able to go on as well. So it's a little bit different, and there might not be as many fans, but we're just thankful for what we can get at the moment.
I have another year eligibility in Europe, but I mean, I'm an American. It's super cool. I love the experience over there. Yeah, I would go back, but I'm on the best team there is, so that's where I'm going to try to stay. So if I can do whatever I can to stay here on pro circuit, that's what I'm going to do. So, but I mean, the bike's awesome, and hopefully everything goes smoothly through these rounds and nothing gets out of control. So, but just super grateful and just loving the present right now.
So last question. I'm always jealous of when I see the MXGP fans, how gnarly those guys get behind their riders. So is there ever a race where you're there and you like have a little pocket of Americans? Like, does that ever happen?
I'd never had a pocket of Americans.
Yeah, I've never had a bunch, but I've had Americans come up to me at certain points and just tell me, that they're from America. If like some of them are like in the Army or something like that, or they have like a wife or somebody that they moved to Europe for. But I mean, the European fans are pretty crazy. There's definitely I collected quite a bit of fans when I was over there, and they're still kind of following me a little bit now. So it's cool to see that. I think just the history of motocross over there, there's a lot more to it, so the fans truly love it.
I think it was a bit crazy how like much the European fans loved Americans. I feel like that's where everybody wants to come over to America. That's what I felt, and they just I thought they would not like us as much, but they're so cool. Like every sight lap, you get that smoke. And the first time I did a sight lap and there was smoke on the track, I was like, is this going to go on during the race? This is crazy. But like I got so many butterflies, and like I was like, this is awesome.
Chainsaws,
air horns. It's such a cool atmosphere there. I mean, Redbud might get as close, but really Europe everywhere was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, good luck to both of you this coming season, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, heck yeah, thank you.
Thank you.